Rockology Hour Interviews.
Well, welcome to Rockology Hour, the interviews. I'm your host, Jake Story, your resident rock connoisseur. And oh boy, do I have a very special episode for you. But if you're unaware of what Rockology Hour is, it is a live radio show promoting alternative music on the UK scene predominantly, but also from around the world. You'll discover lots of awesome new bands, and you'll rediscover classic tracks you haven't heard in ages. And this podcast is bringing to you all the interviews I have done on the show in a podcast format. So you can listen it onto your Spotify's, Acast, Stitchers, iTunes, you name it, you got it. And this episode is especially special, as I sat down with Jamie Lenman the other day, and we had a nice chat. It was right when he released The Future Is Dead, which features Illustrator Man from Peng Shui. Amazing track. Awesome. And Jamie Lenman's one of my favourite artists. So it was a real feather in the cap. One of the bucket list ticks to get him on the show. And it's always nice when you're always slightly nervous when you interview people who you really, really admire and been following their career for years and years. And this was the case, and it was really, really nice because Jamie Lenman was awesome. He was so nice. He made it incredibly easy to interview. He was very charismatic, hilarious, and also really insightful as well. So I'm going to now throw it over to my chat with Jamie Lenman, I believe on episode 77 of Rockology Hour. And enjoy. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Rockology Hour, episode 77. I'm your host, Jake Storer, your resident rock connoisseur here at Riverside Radio. And oh boy, if you enjoyed that opening track, Jamie Lenman, Hell in a Fast Car, you are going to absolutely love what I have in store for you today. I managed to get a sit down with the man himself, Jamie Lenman. We have a big old chat. If you're unfamiliar with Jamie Lenman, he was the lead singer of the band Reuben, who were very prominent on the UK rock alternative music scene in the mid-2000s. They have a kind of cult-like following with a very rabid fan base. Once that disbanded, he has gone on to become an illustrator, working with Doctor Who magazine and The Guardian. He then went on to have a very, very successful solo career, which is still going on to this day, going from strength to strength. He had records such as Muscle Memory, Devolver, and a covers album which came out last year called Shuffle. Amazing, amazing portfolio of work. He's kind of revered in the UK rock music scene. So it's very, very... I'm absolutely chuffed to have him on the show. He's been someone I've been earmarked to have on the show for quite a long time, so it was great to sit down with him, and he had a lovely chat, lots of great stories, so we're going to get into that now. And oh yes, he does do Stappoke, so stay tuned for the second half of the show. Unfortunately, because of time constraints this week, Discovery of the Week and Record of the Week in detail will be on the podcast. If you're listening live on Riverside Radio right now, it's just going to be the interview, and then we're going to go into the Record of the Week straight away after that. But this is my sit down with Jamie Lenman. Sit back, open up a glass of wine, beer, or whatever you tend to drink, put your feet up, and enjoy. Take it away, Jake, on the Skype machine. You're on Riverside. I am joined on the Skype machine today by a living legend in the rock music industry. He's a frontman, guitarist, a songwriter. He's an illustrator. He is the linchpin of Lenmania.
Yeah.
Jamie, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Thanks, Jake. Am I allowed to do swearing on Riverside Radio?
You can. I can reverse it. Try not to swear too much, but if you feel it's really impactful, then go for it.
Your intro was very swear-inducing, and I had to behave myself there because it was quite gushing. So thanks very much.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to start insulting me straight away and just
No.
effing bad.
That's great.
How are you doing? How are you keeping up in these very strange times we're living in right now?
I'm all right. I mean, they are very strange, and we've already experienced a lot of difficulty and, personal losses, which is a real bummer. But really, from day-to-day life, for me, because I work from home anyway, and I only really go out to exercise, my day-to-day life isn't that different.
Yeah.
So I would usually just be spending most of my time in my studio working away on illustration or making music, whatnot. So day to day, yeah, I know some people's worlds have been turned completely upside down, and I sympathize with them. But mine is pretty similar to how it was before. It just takes a lot longer to get you shopping.
Oh yeah, that is a complete nightmare. But
Yeah.
we're all living the Jamie Lenman life, and to be honest, I quite like it. I've not worn jeans in over 2 weeks, so
That's my dry cleaning bill is way down.
And actually, because you're a very well-dressed man. You're wearing the three-piece a lot and got the pocket chain watch,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. Are you wearing that at home, or are you in trackies and a vest or whatever?
No. I never wear trackies in a vest. I did go out for a run this morning, and I have a very Chariots of Fire style running outfit with all white and shorts and white socks and whatnot. That's as close as I get to leisure wear, but even that is still within the Edwardian vibe, really.
Yeah.
And when I'm at home, if I'm not going out, I tend to wear a sort of a fairly louche dressing gown.
Yes.
But yes, I do. I wear the suits. It's not like if I've got dressed to go out to the shops, I won't immediately whip off the suit as soon as I come home. So most of the time, yeah. In normal circumstance, I would spend most of my time in the house as well in a three-piece suit. Yeah, I never wear jeans and a t-shirt. One day a year, I wear jeans and a t-shirt, and that's my birthday. It's just as fun because I go out to London and I have a great time, and I wear, because I get given a lot of great t-shirts, and I got a lot of great t-shirts that I miss, and I've got like my favorite possession is a Doctor Who bomber jacket from the 30th anniversary back in 1993.
Wow,
and I never get to wear it. So on my birthday, I wear that and my favorite Red Dwarf t-shirt and my Flintstones jeans, and I'm unrecognizable. And if you see me on my birthday, you wouldn't recognize me. The rest of the time, it's all three-piece tweed and wool. Yeah.
That's awesome. And am I right in thinking you did some illustrations for the Doctor Who magazine? Is that correct?
Oh, yes. You missed that
up?
list from your roll call of things I do. I was quite close.
My God. Oh, that's why you were going to swear at me.
That was why I was going to swear. No, I do. I'm a regular contributor to Doctor Who magazine, have been for 15 years now, I think. And more recently, over the last couple of years, I've been writing a lot of articles for them as well, which is really great because I enjoy writing. And it's a real privilege to see I've got sort of used to seeing my illustrations in print, but to see your articles and your reviews and your writing in print, that's next level. I've not got over that yet. That's still exciting to me. And I got the latest Doctor Who magazine. It's a funny thing because when I was a kid, when I was 9, 10, I had a subscription to Doctor Who magazine and I paid for it, and it would arrive at my house every month and I would read it from cover to cover. And now Doctor Who magazine, it still arrives at my house every month, but they're paying me, which is great.
That's the dream, right?
That's the dream. And, I've become friends with them. It's really quite amazing because Doctor Who magazine is not the same as Doctor Who. It's like a different thing. Yeah. And they kept making it even for the Oh my God, I did swear. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll get in there and reverse it. No worries.
they kept making it even when the show wasn't on telly. So it's its own thing, and I'm very proud to be part of it. I'm so sorry for swearing there.
That's all right.
Doctor Who. Steer me off Doctor Who, and I'll calm down.
I've got you fired up straight away, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, sorry.
Also, did you mention Red Dwarf there? As being a fan.
Red Dwarf fan, yeah.
Because there is a new, I think, special coming soon. The reason I know about it is that one of my best friends is the director. So he was
your best
telling me.
Director?
Yeah, so he is son of Doug Naylor, who created the show.
No way!
I've been getting a lot of the inside scoops on like how it's going.
Record. You want to put me in touch with that guy because I've been trying to somehow worm my way into Red Dwarf for a long time. Mike Tucker, who supervises the special effects, the model unit for Red Dwarf, also used to do the models for Doctor Who in the 80s. And we know each other just a little bit. When I see him at Doctor Who parties, and there is such a thing as Doctor Who parties, we say hello. And he even listened to my single Fizzy Blood. So I thought maybe he could get me in just as a model, pretend I was a spaceship. But if you know, is it Ed Naylor?
No, Rich Naylor. Richard Naylor's the director.
Right.
I'll link you guys.
Some favors here. I could have a guest spot. That would be my dream come true.
Oh,
wow.
I'll see what I can do. I'll have a chat with
Thank you.
No worries whatsoever. Okay, I guess we should talk about your amazing new track. The Future is Dead. I absolutely love it. And it features Illuman from Peng Shui.
Yes.
How did this collaboration come about?
Well, it was quite Byzantine, if that's the right word. No, clandestine. I don't know, Byzantine, clandestine, yours or mine. We were looking, my producer and I, Space, were looking for an MC to rap on it. I suppose you could, I mean, rap is a really weird word, isn't it? It's from when people didn't really understand hip hop. But I don't know what the physical action of rapping is called. Rhyming, spitting, who knows? Anyway, we needed someone to do some rhythmic poetry on the track. Because without it, we recorded it, and I recorded the second verse, but it just sort of sounded like, standard by the numbers Jamie Lenman. I thought people would be pretty familiar with this. And on the one hand, that's good, but on the other hand, you always want to move forward and create different sounds. And I thought this was a really great opportunity because it had a real groove to it to get an MC on it and to give them a verse and see what they would do with it, give them carte blanche. And I didn't really know who to invite. I wanted someone British, definitely British. And my producer said, what about the guy from Peng Shui? Have you heard them? And I'd heard of Peng Shui. And I watched their videos and I realized that I had a 3 degrees of separation to the bass player, Chris Hargreaves, because he had played bass on an album by Down I Go that I had sung on as a guest artist. So we'd both been guests. We never met each other, but we were both friends with this band, Down I Go. So I got hold of Down I Go. I was like, do you know Chris from Peng Shui? And they're like, definitely. So I got his address and I got in touch with Chris. I said, hey, Chris, really like your bass playing. It wasn't a lie, actually. I wasn't buttering up. He did. Can you put me in touch with your MC, Illuman? And he said, no problems. I think you guys really hit it off. Sent the track to Illuman. He was really into it. And we went up to his buddy's studio. I sent him the track without his bit on it. He came up with some rhymes. He was very diligent. He called me several times and said, I've got this bit. What do you reckon? And there was a lot of back and forth, which I really enjoyed. And then when we got to the session, he just did it in like maybe 2 takes, one, and the second one had a bit more fire. And that was it. And then I sent it to my producer, Space, who was on tour by that point. He mixed it in, and I was just over the moon with how it came out. He brought exactly what was needed. He's an immense talent. And I'm so pleased to have him on that track. If nothing, because it means that I'm not singing on that bit. I get to listen to the song without my big old potato voice in the way. But he's just so great, and I'm really grateful for him for being on it.
Yeah, was he a fan of yours going in, or had he not kind of been introduced to your work before?
I don't think he'd ever heard my stuff.
Really?
And if you listen to Peng Shui, they're basically sort of a grime hip hop act. With live drums and bass. And there is sort of, I would say there's a crossover there already between, rock/metal and hip hop. But I don't know if Illuman himself's listened to any rock and roll tunes. He's definitely hugely versed in the hip hop world. And he flung out a few references that I wasn't quite able to catch. I'm like an idiot. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
So no, I don't think he'd heard my stuff before, which, if anything, I preferred because he came to it fresh with no preconceptions. But, we've been talking since the track has been out, and it's been played on Radio 1 and Radio X, and Kerrang! Radio have been playing it. It's had a huge reception. So we're both very pleased about it. And we're looking forward to, whenever we can, doing it live together. Obviously, that won't be for a while. But I think we're both very enthused about it. So I'm really happy.
Yeah, I can imagine like now kind of the status you now have in the industry. You must have like kind of a lot of kind of up and coming artists who kind of looked up to you when like for the likes of Reuben and your kind of current stuff, looking to do collaborations. I know you did one with Justine Jones and you've done one with Black Peaks. Do you find that a lot of people are reaching out to you to kind of work with you, or because you're obviously very talented at collaborations?
A bit. If you look at the year when I did that Black Peaks record, I was on everyone's record, and it started to get a bit annoying. It was on the new Haggard Cat record that came out this year.
Yes.
It was on the St. Pierre Snake Invasion last year. So there was about a year, and they were all done in the same sort of year and took various times to come out. So there's about a year where I was all over the shop. And that was great. And it's sort of calmed down since then, maybe because people have heard the records in question, realized they could probably do without Jamie Lenman on their record. But yeah, people say, and it's fun to do it with buddies and even with strangers. I used to have a rule that if you buy me a pepperoni pizza, I'll turn up. But these days, I've had to modify my eating habits in line with health concerns. So that's no longer the ticket. You got to provide carrots and hummus or something, and then I might do your track. It's always fun.
A healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Going back to the Peng Shui point, I got and the new track. I did have strong kind of Rage Against the Machine vibes from that, and they're one of my favorite bands. So I instantly loved it.
Yeah.
Do you feel kind of in the kind of rock industry at the moment that there aren't enough collaborations kind of in the rap world that you see people collaborating all the time? Do you think like artists should be more like yourself and kind of looking to work with other artists?
It's funny. If you look, I picked up a copy of Now 1025 or whatever it is in Paper Station a while ago. And on the back, every single track, I didn't recognize any of the name, but it was all this song by artists featuring other artists.
Yes.
Every single song in the charts, I swear to God, is some kind of feature or some kind of guest vocalist. And I know that's like the singles, and I'm sure the deep cuts aren't quite as heavy on feats. But yeah, I mean, when I grew up, feats, let's call them feats, guest starring bits, was how you found out about other artists. I found that really exciting. I listened to Korn, and they had Sheena Marino on their second record, and I'd never heard the Deftones, so then I listened to the Deftones. And then I listened to the Deftones, and they had Max Cavalera on their track, and I'd never heard Sepultura. So then I started listening to Sepultura, and that was how it went on. And I hope, in fact, I know, because I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, man, I hadn't heard Peng Shui before they were on your track. Now I love them. You're like, that is what it's all about, quite apart from creating a unique piece of art between myself and Lenman. For the people to then discover other music, that's vital. And maybe it isn't happening as much as it used to. I got to say, from my perspective, it is still happening a lot because I do so many of them myself. I'm really aware of how it is in the wider rock scene. All I can say is the more the merrier.
Yeah. Well, actually, the way I discovered you a few years back was actually through it was a live collaboration. I'm a big In Me fan. I saw a video, I think it was 2000 Trees a few years ago. You and Dave McPherson did I Ain't Your Boy. I think it was 2000 Trees. Sorry.
He's a very sweet guy, Dave.
Yeah, I've had him on the show. He's a lovely bloke. I love their new album as well. But that's how I discovered you. So for this chat, actually, it's happening because of a collaboration.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was quite late to the Reuben party. I actually kind of got into your solo stuff first and then went backwards, which I think is quite unusual. Because I think a lot of people kind of
more and more. But yeah, it is. It is unusual, really.
Yeah. So I've had this question today because I thought it'd be quite an interesting one.
Please.
If you're in quarantine at the moment, but you could only had to live with two other musicians, who would you live with?
Two other musicians. That's a funny question because I could reel off a list of musicians who are fantastic musicians and I enjoy making music with, but would drive me up the wall to live with. So, for instance, if I'd said, for Guy Davis, who was in Reuben, we played some shows together last year and I had a fantastic time, and he's a wonderful player, but I think he would kill me if I lived with him, or I would kill him.
He lived with him on the road for quite some time.
No, we did a very short sortie over to Ireland. That was fun. That took a best part of a week, and we managed to not kill each other then. But I think that was about our limit. At the moment, I'm playing a lot with a guy called Jack Wrench, who used to play for Arcane Roots. Yes. So I would like, we managed to not kill each other on tour. So he can come, he can stay. He's very good friends with my wife as well, so that would be quite popular. Yeah. And then who else? I think probably, weirdly enough, guy called Chris Coulter, who used to be in my heavy mellow band, play guitar with me. We get on awfully well. And so he could maybe play the bass, and then at least we could have a power trio, me and Jack and Chris, and then know each other. So I'm going to say Jack and Chris we would get would not kill each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the main aim, I think, for this situation.
Yeah.
No murders to occur. I'd like to chat about your album Devolver, because it is one of my favorite albums of the last kind of 10, 15 years. Because so like I said, through the Dave McPherson video, I then went to check out, and I think you've just released Heartbeat at this point. Yes. The album hadn't come out, and that's how I got into it. And I got very excited for when the album came out, and it was fantastic. What was the kind of recording process for that like? What kind of headspace were you in when you made that record?
Well, it was a little bit splintered, a little bit fractured, because what we did was I started making demos. At the time, they were demos to us with my friend Space, who produced it. And he was just, as far as we were concerned, we were just making some recordings to see what was out there, because I'd done Muscle Memory, which was nuts. And then I'd taken a bit of a break, and my band, my heavy mellow band, even though it wasn't really a band, it was a backing band, they'd split up.
Oh, right.
So left without the band. I just had Daniel, my drummer, and I was looking for a direction to move in. So we made some recordings over a year or so. Whenever I could find a lump of money, we would make some and we recorded about half the album in that kind of piecemeal way. And then by the time we put out Mississippi, because we just felt so strongly about it. And my new management, I played these recordings to a bunch of managers to see if anyone would like to work with me. And the guys I ended up working with were so enthused by Mississippi, they said, well, look, even if you don't have the album ready, just put this out, because it's great. And I said, okay, I never would have thought of doing that. And then once we'd put that out, then the labels got on board, and we started talking to labels, and Big Scary Monsters said, we love this. We'll give you the money to finish the record. So it was quite fractured. So 1 year of it was just whenever we could get in to make the first 5 or so tracks. And then when we had the backing from Big Scary Monsters to finish it, we went and did the remaining 6 in one go at Brighton Electric for all the live room stuff. And then we finished it off at Space's home studios. So it was a sort of a game of two halves. And but my most vivid memory from making that record is the weekend we spent in Brighton, because it was the hottest day of the year, and we did these wonderful drums in this wonderful studio, and I just sat in a park whilst Daniel was doing his drums, writing the lyrics to all of it. So even if I hadn't written the songs at that point, I wrote the soul of them, the lyrics and stuff. Heartbeat, I wrote them in that park. Quite difficult subjects to tackle, a lot of them. And so I always think, even though we only spent maybe 2-3 days in Brighton, that record will always be a Brighton record for me. And that's why I put the pictures of the pavilion and the pier on the album play, on the vinyl version. So yeah, that's what I think of when I make Brighton. And it was quite introspective. You'll notice that the lyrics on that record, one of the songs is called Personal, for goodness sake. And the other one is called Heartbeat, which is a pun on heartbeat. They're very personal. They're very introverted. After years of writing about other concerns, and Muscle Memory looked out to society, really. Devolver was all about how I felt about myself. So yeah, it was quite personal. I hope that answers your question. I think I've been rambling for about 20 minutes.
This is great for me, because I absolutely love that record. It's kind of hearing exactly how you put it together. It's super interesting for me. Interesting to say, did you say you wrote the lyrics before the music when you were kind of writing?
No, I never do that.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's quite unusual.
No, I know some people carry around little notebooks full of lyrics, and I've always found that counterproductive.
Yeah.
For me, the lyrics serve the song, not the other way around.
Yes, yeah, I tend to agree. See, because you mentioned Muscle Memory earlier being a bit nuts, which is kind of why I love it. It is so many different personalities kind of thrown into one album, and then you've got kind of Devolver, which is more of a kind of cohesive kind of, this is kind of one block of work. Was that kind of a conscious decision you made going in, like you wanted to kind of it to have a kind of a theme, or kind of sticking to the same genre roughly with other elements dotted in and around?
When we started making it, when we decided that was what we were going to make, then yes, definitely that was the plan. But prior to that, coming out of Muscle Memory, I didn't know what I was doing. And so I sent like 40 demos or whatever it is to Space to listen to say, what album should we make? And again, when we hooked up with my management, I sent them the same demos to say, what album shall I make? Pick 10 or 11 songs, and that's the album I'm going to make. And the choices that they both made were very similar. There was only like a song difference between them. And I was surprised by all of their choices. And so once I had from them the track, it's like they picked the track listing. And I said, oh, okay, great. And they saw a through line between them all that I was unaware of. And then because they were all recorded by the same guy, Space, he put his stamp on them all. And when I listen to them now, yeah, they sound of a piece. But I couldn't see the connection. And I was very grateful for their help in that. So, yeah, I had to get help in making a more concise record. And they said, you know, this is the statement we think you should make. And once I understood the statement that they thought I should make, I was able to, you know, that's when I was able to like write the lyrics about it, and it all came together. So I had a lot of help, and it was certainly in terms of finding the theme for the record, it was a group effort. And I think that's perhaps why it is so strong. If it is strong, you know, you like it.
I love it. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so you from Devolver, you moved on to Shuffle, which is a kind of a covers album, but very unusual covers album as you kind of flip genres on their head. What was your motivation for making a covers record?
Well, I mean, at the time, you know, what I said a lot in the press, that also it might have sounded like a bit of an excuse, because I did feel a little bit on the back foot. I sort of felt like I had to defend the concept of a covers album, because a lot of people shied away in horror when I said I was going to do it. But for me, growing up with music, and I listened to a lot of chart music when I was younger, before and after I got into rock and roll, I always had one ear on the charts. And they got a little bit boring about 10 years ago, the charts. But in the 90s, when I was growing up, there was a lot of diverse stuff going on, certainly. And chart artists, mainstream artists, they would regularly bring out covers albums, entire records of covers. And these would be my favorite albums sometimes. And I talked a lot about Annie Lennox's record, Medusa, because that was a covers record that I had when I was a kid, and I loved it. I still love it. And I even, you know, I covered an Annie Lennox song on Shuffle, and lots of other artists I know. The thing is, if you listen to any artist, any pop artists, mainstream artists' greatest hits, half of those tracks are covers, I guarantee. Cyndi Lauper's greatest hits, half of them are covers. I love Cyndi Lauper. The Beatles, half of those are covers. From their early records, their first 4 or 5 records are half covers. And both of those are artists that I then covered for Shuffle. The Specials, I love the Specials. Half of those greatest hits are covers by amazing ska artists from the 60s. So in the mainstream world, in pop, it's not, or at least when I was a kid, it was not an unusual thing. And maybe it is more unusual these days. And people tend to treat it as, oh, if you don't have enough songs of your own, maybe do a half-ass just to keep the ball rolling, do a covers record. But that was not the case at all. It was, for a long time, it had been something that I'd been aspiring to do. And I couldn't wait until I had the standing, shall we say, that people would listen to a covers record by me. And I think we just about made it work.
I loved it. It's kind of crazy, but awesome.
Thank you.
What advice would you give Jamie Lenman in 2004, being Jamie Lenman in 2020 now?
Oh God. So that's right when the first Reuben album came out.
Yeah.
I would just tell him to like calm down and don't worry so much, and your life won't end if you don't like the mix on that song or something, you know, because I was so wound up. We all were. Being in that band was very tense because we believed, sort of partially correctly, that our lives depended on it. I couldn't see a future for myself beyond the next album, which is a really dangerous way of living. And I think young people these days, in your 20s and you're trying to make your way in the world, it's very hard to see past the next year because everything is so vital and so instant. And I got myself in a terrible state about how I was going to live and how would I earn money from the music industry, because the music industry was in an absolute shambles, which is only just climbing out of. And I was just so concerned about how I would survive, not only as an artist, but also as a human being. Yeah. And it would have been great to tell myself from the future, don't worry, your hair's going to fall out, but you're going to survive and you'll keep making records. And unbelievably, in the future, people will still buy those records. And you will still go on tour and people will still turn up. I still have to pinch myself that people buy my records and buy tickets to my shows. And it would have been great to have that security and that peace of mind to know that, hey, it works out. That's what I would say.
And also going back to the hair loss thing, you have started out majestically, I might say, with the tash in the front. I don't know, what do you call the little bit at the front?
I call it a quiff. Other people are pleased to call it a tuft. I take issue with this. It's very definitely a quiff, but it's the only that still grows. So that's what I got. I don't think a lot of people realize it's Tank Girl's haircut. If you're a fan of British comics like I am, I spent a lot of time looking at this haircut as drawn by Jamie Hewlett, the master of Gorillas and many other amazing stuff. So I got Tank Girl's haircut. That's how I reason it. Okay,
are you up for playing Stappoke with me?
Please.
Well, I just heard the news today. It's time for us to play Stappoke.
So, for listeners at home, if you're unaware of what this quiz karaoke thing is, I will sing lyrics in the voice of Scott Stapp from Creed to Jamie, and then Jamie has to say the next line and then say the artist and the track name. There's 2 points per question.
Yes.
So it's out of 12. I think Milk Teeth are winning. Milk Teeth and Take Flight are joint first at the moment. I think they're the seventh artist to do it. They've got 18, both of them. I think Loathe got 11 in their bottom. So, and then everyone else is kind of in between somewhere. I haven't got the table in front of me.
Okay, no pressure.
But I've tried to make it as tracks which I think are relevant to you, or that you would know, or you might have some story revolving around the artist.
Thank you. Okay.
And I'll help you out if you're struggling. So I need to do my vocal warm up. Me, my sacrifice. Okay, I think I'm ready.
I think it's similar to mine.
Okay. Number one. To finally get beaten, it feels just like being eaten.
We're going to hear the vocal with the top down.
Yes. I presume you know the artist and the track name on that one.
Creed's cover of My a Fast Car. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I need to dig that one up on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. Full marks so far. Thank God. You'd be surprised. Some guys really struggled with their own lyrics.
No, I bet. I bet, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And your songs will be breaking our hearts again.
Your songs will be breaking our hearts again. Bury it. Yeah. Is that what it says next? Bury it or something?
Spare me, yeah. That sounded like what you said the first time, so I'm gonna give it to you.
Thank you. That's 100 Reasons, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Do you know the track name?
No, it's off their second record, isn't it?
I believe so. Is it Kill Your Own, that record? I think it is.
Kill Your Own's the third one. Shatterproof is the second one. I don't know. You're just gonna have to give me the point for the artist.
I can give you 1.5.
Thank you.
Because the track is The Perfect Gift.
Okay. I can't remember. I've actually been listening to 100 Reasons a lot recently because I was chatting away to my friend Paul, who used to play. He was on those first 3 records. I actually rediscovered a love for them. I haven't listened to them for a long time. I'll have to listen to Kill Your Own again. Yeah.
They played Camden Rocks. What is it? Is it last year? And they're called Undead Raisins. I think there's a couple of them.
No, yes, I'm familiar with that formation. Yeah.
Undead Raisins. Yeah. And they were brilliant. So yeah, it was good to see them. Okay, number 3. Tonight I'm gonna have myself a good time.
I feel alive in the world. I always do
you know the next little bit
from the shreds on YouTube. Yes, sir. When he falls away. I know that's not actually in any Creed songs, But that's Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Oh my God.
Yes, it is. That's 2. So what's that? 5.5 out of 6. Am I right in thinking that you, when you were a kid, you wanted to be a hybrid of Freddie Mercury and Brian May? Is that right?
Yes, I was hoping they would have a love child and it would be me, but I was already alive, so it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, those two are my absolute heroes. And in fact, if I could live with them instead, if you can have dead people, then I'd bring Freddie back just so he can live in my house. But would he want to come back to life just to hang out in my house forever? I'm not sure he would. I think that would be a terrible prison for him, so I couldn't do it to him. So I'll stick with Jack. Yeah.
Well, you can get Brian May in.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah. I love that him and his wife have exactly the same hair. That's great.
They're so excellent. And she was in Red Dwarf as well. Don't forget this. Red Dwarf coming through. Oh, yeah.
And was it Birds of a Feather as well?
Was she? I must have missed that one.
She was like the crazy best friend, was she? I don't know. I could be way off.
No, you're thinking of Doreen. That's different actresses.
Okay. Yeah, my mistake. Okay. Number 4. But I'm a creep, I'm a widow.
What the hell am I doing here? Out of my long hair.
Yeah. That was quite easy.
Radiohead.
Yes, that's 2. So we got, was it 2, 4, 6, 7.5.
7.5.
It will get more difficult. I'd like to ease you in. This is like Stappoke is like a bathtub. You kind of slowly dip the toe in, and then you kind of.
I jump right in. I dive from it. My wife gets real upset. Yeah.
Okay. And I won't sit down, and I won't shut up.
But most of all, I will not grow up.
That dabbled into South Park at the end. I really loved that.
That was Photosynthesis by Sir Frank Turner, OBE.
Sir Frank, he'll get it.
Also,
Reuben were definitely the first to sign for Extra Mile, not Million Dead. Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, there's a little. It's a grey area. I've erased my memories of those years, so I can't tell you.
Okay, doing very well. What are we on? 9.5 out of 10, I believe.
Whoa.
Okay, it will get more difficult though. Okay. Number 6. We may have mentioned this band earlier. I dressed you in her clothes.
I've absolutely no idea.
Ooh, it's a tougher one.
Not a sausage.
We did mention them earlier as someone who's collabed with someone, the lead singer anyway. Ooh. Do you want to hear it again? It might jog.
Yeah, I'll never know it. What is it? I've lost.
It's Deftones, Be Quiet and Drive. I'll dress you in her clothes, now drive me far, far away. Even though I screwed up the melody on the second line there, but.
Dress you. Yeah, no, I know it. Oh my God, this is really tough. The Stappoke. Okay.
Yeah, I know. The water's getting hot. It's getting real hot. Okay, so. So what are we on? Okay, number 7. Well, shake it out, baby, now.
Twist her shirt. Yes?
Yes, correct, yes.
Okay, that's Twist and Shout by the Beatles.
Yeah.
Good one. Easy.
One of your favourites, I do believe.
Absolutely. I particularly like the version from Ferris Bueller's Day Off with the brass band on it.
Oh. Very nice. So we're on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11.5.
Okay.
Okay. We can still get in the top 3 here. We like to look at this.
Blown it.
I have to say, it is much tougher on your own. We've had bands with kind of 3 members who help each other out. Yeah.
There's 4 of them.
Yeah. Okay. Number 8. And you could have it all, my empire dirt.
I will let you love. I will make it good. That was Hurt by Johnny Cash.
Yeah, and I would have accepted 9 Inch Nails as well. That's
sure.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Okay, so number 9, we've got 2 left. You can get in the top 2 here. There's still a chance.
Only 2 left. Okay, all right. I can bring it back.
It does. The Stappoke does fly by. Okay, number 9. Okay, remember the melody, Jake. Okay. Nail in my head for my creator.
No. Is it? Oh no, I know that.
I can do it again if you want.
One more time.
Nail in my head for my creator.
Can I have a clue?
Sure. We did mention this band earlier, but we mentioned the band, but all the members are in a different band in this song, apart from the. I'm actually not explaining this badly. This band was a hybrid of two bands. One of those bands we did mention earlier on the show.
Yes.
But yes, they have a different lead singer who is from another well-known band.
No. How fascinating. No, I have no idea, but tell me. Go on.
It is Audio Slave with Show Me How to Live.
That's right. Oh, I'm out. Never mind.
That's you could still just get a high score.
What your last one was.
Okay. So the next line on that one was, "You gave me life, now show me how to live." Okay, so 0 on that. So we went 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 and a half.
Ugh.
Okay, so you've beaten Loathe, who are led. So yes, you can get mid-table, a solid potential third. I haven't got the scores in front of me.
Funny enough, I knew it was Chris Cornell, but I couldn't nail the Soundgarden song. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, well, it was an Audio Slave. I was trying to not give it away to say Rage Against the Machine, because that would have.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Good.
The rules and stuff.
The final one.
Okay, sure. Number 10. I'm out of faith. This is how I feel.
Cold, awake and torn, lying naked on the floor, losing never change into something real. Is that Natalie Imbruglia?
Yes.
Torn.
Yes. Okay. So
wow.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 and a half, and then 15 and a half. That's solid. That's for one person. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Take that to the bank. I'll take that to the bank. What can we expect from Jamie Lenman for the rest of the year? I know it's a bit of a tough time to kind of project, but what can we expect for later year?
What you can expect is an awful lot of live gigs from my house.
Yes.
I have not been so busy since I moved in. I did a live stream from my study, which surprised everyone in not being awful and actually being like a fun time. So I'm mustering my strength to do another one of those. But in the meantime, when you called, I was editing a similar thing, not quite the same, for Kerrang Radio, which is going to be on Saturday. Yes. They're going to broadcast that. And then lots of other people are suddenly writing in and saying, "Oh, will you do one for us?" And I'm like, okay. So an awful lot, in the next couple of weeks at least, an awful lot of live performances from my house. I'm going to be everywhere. So if you log on to my Facebook, you can be involved in the next Total Request Live that we do on there, where everyone sort of chips in and asks for songs and I play whatever. Or you can go to the Kerrang Radio one, or there's some other ones coming up. You just got to keep abreast of my socials and I'll tell you where they all are. And so that's what I'm spending all my time doing, really, is performing and then editing and then mixing live performances from my study, from my bedroom, from my bathroom. Not from my bathroom, but you know what I mean.
Very, very intrusive.
Yes, that's what I can see in front of me, for the time being.
Right. It's good to see you kind of using social media to your advantage here. I saw an interview with you where you had a burner phone. So are you kind of social media tech savvy, or do you get other people to do that?
This is it. Still, if you could see on my video isn't working. I still do. Yeah, I hate smartphones. And my service provider just changed up their business to try and make me get a smartphone. So I changed up the service provider. That showed them. And I hate the concept of a smartphone. Yeah, it's the idea of being just contactable. I'm still contactable, but you just always got that internet at your fingertips. I'm bad enough on the laptop. So to take it with me is just a horrible thought. And I hope I never succumb. But one day you'll have to have one, won't you? You'll have to have one to do your banking and whatnot, even to get into the library or whatever. A horrible thought. And at that point, I'll just kill myself. So, yeah.
Awesome. And for the social media handles, is it Jamie Lenman, is it? Or is there a special name?
There's only one Jamie Lenman. God. And if you just Google that, you will find all my stuff. And yeah, check out the Facebook page. And there's all kinds of treats on there.
Yeah, Lenmania running wild.
Absolutely.
I'm sure. Jamie, thanks so much for coming on. We're going to put on the track Your Future is Dead right now. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
You're on Riverside.
That was my chat with Jamie Lenman, and I was supposed to say The Future is Dead, Jake, you idiot. But yeah, absolutely banging tune. I'm going to put it on right now. It features Illuman from Peng Shui, and it goes like this. So that was my interview with Jamie Lenman, which was on episode 77 of Rockology Hour. Do check out his music. It is absolutely fantastic. He released a covers album, as you mentioned, Shuffle, last year, I do believe. And the Devolver record and Muscle Memory are very special. And if you're a fan of Reuben, or if you've not listened to them a while, go check them out. They're a great band. He has quite the back catalogue of fantastic music. You can follow Jamie Lenman at Jamie Lenman. There's only one Jamie Lenman, as he said. And you can follow Rockology Hour at Rockology Hour on Twitter and Instagram, on Facebook, Rockology Hour Radio Show, and then the mothership, which is rockologyhour.com. And if you want to listen to the whole kit and caboodle, the whole radio show, as it happens, as it went down, you can go on Mixcloud, Rockology Hour, which you can find on the Riverside Radio Mixcloud account or on the Rockology Hour website. Up to you. But thanks very much for listening. Please let me know your feedback. You can tweet at me or slide in the DMs. But please make sure you do subscribe. Oh yeah, they're coming at you every week. Hot fire every week. So yeah, be prepared for that. Thanks very much for listening. I've been Jake Storer, your resident rock connoisseur. Stay safe, stay sane. I'm out.
Rockology Hour Interviews.